Good morning, everybody. It is beautiful out again. I have to admit, this month of June has made me feel like I'm back in Chilliwack. That's kind of weather in Chilliwack. It's just kind of rain, and so it's been interesting. But today is beautiful. We are behind you on the screen. We're looking out at the lake, and you can see the mountain here. So it's a beautiful day to be hanging out and talking. And
I'm loving these warm, sunny days.
Yeah.
Air conditioner's on.
That's right. And you've been riding your bike.
Yeah.
So looking back, this Sunday I want to talk a little bit about John Chalkis and what he told us. But you had a different experience. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I really wanted to continue the challenge and tradition that I started last year of, on Father's Day, just going out and trying to bike to Merritt, and then trying to take that up one notch so that we could raise money for clean water wells through GAIN. And GAIN does so many different other things, but clean water initiatives is one of the things that they do. And I actually felt like I learned a lot about the water stuff as well too, because I also got to talk to Castanet about it, and it was a really cool experience. And so it was a lot of rain. I picked only rainy days to bike. It was sunny all in between, but it was just awesome. So thank you for the opportunity. I took that week off just to kind of try and get my body ready for it, and yet it was still enjoyable to have my family a part of the service as well too, to have the Bessie Band, and that was really enjoyable. So thank you for that opportunity as well, and how enjoyable and fitting it was that's what I was able to do, but also that John was able to be there and to talk about the ways that they're making differences in people's lives.
Yes.
And I really loved that those two things kind of came together on Father's Day.
Yeah.
I think it matters because Father's Day really is a culmination of all of that, and just a reminder of all that. So that's why I also kind of chose Father's Day as well too.
Yeah. So a couple things that I was thinking about as you were talking about that. First of all, does that mean that next year you're riding to Edmonton or to Calgary, like to up it, or?
as soon as I finished last year, I said, all right, we're going to Hope.
Oh, okay.
So I already have a name. I think it's Biking for Hope.
Oh, yes.
Or something like that,
And that is cool. It is cool what you combine the two. Like we on Sunday. Well, first of all, you're a celebrity because you were in the Castanet, newspaper. And that was really cool. If you didn't see that, go to Castanet and scroll down. You'll find Kevin talking about what he did before the fact, but. You were helping. You raised enough to build a well, I think.
No.
You were like $100 shy or something.
No. So
No?
it got to a certain point where I'm like, I have to stop looking. Because people.
Okay.
I just need to let people contribute. So I'm excited for what it is going to gain, but I had to stop looking.
Okay.
I reached my goal.
Okay.
My goal was last year. I said, okay, I honestly have no idea. I don't want it to be like self-serving, so I put a really low number. So then I was blown away, and I got $2,000.
Wow, last year. And
I only thought a couple hundred would come in.
Yeah.
So I was blown away, and $2,000. So I thought, okay, that's where we're going to again, at least.
Yeah.
So, and we just reached it. There was a couple people who threw some money in, and we just reached it. It just went over that $2,000, and that blows me away as well too, to reach that goal. You can also still give towards that. That gets about 1/5 of a full water well.
Okay.
Because the price has also gone up even since Cycling for Water came through last year as well. So it was about 8,000 before. Now post pandemic, it's about 10,000 or more.
Okay.
So it's gone up. So that's why I think it's even that much more necessary to do this kind of fundraising as well. But it was very shocking and awe-inspiring to just see all of that money come in from the generosity of people. And so thank you all very much for that.
Well, it's so cool. Like you said, on Sunday, Father's Day, we were celebrating the Father's work in the world, right?
Yeah.
Our Father's work, and so you were able to raise, a fifth of a well for someone somewhere in the world, And John Chagas talked about seeds of hope.
Yeah.
These seeds of hope that are around the world. And what I really liked, you can tell us a little bit about what maybe stood out to you, but I love the idea of sponsoring a child, and we've sponsored children for probably as long as we've been married almost, and just love that we can make a difference in a child's life somewhere. But what really stood out to me was the conversation I had with John afterwards when he told his story. I don't know if he's told that story to our church or not, but he was a bricklayer, and sorry, John, if I get some of the details wrong, but he and his family somehow heard. They said yes to Jesus, basically. And so they heard about somebody memorizing the book of James, and they're like, really? You've memorized a whole book? So they started memorizing. They got to James 1:27, and it says, religion that our God and Father accepts as pure and faultless is this, to look after orphans and widows in their distress. And he's like, well, how do we do that? And then something came along where they had the opportunity to say yes. And after a series of saying yes, they have what? They have work in Zambia.
Yeah.
They have work in Thailand.
Yeah.
They have all these, hundreds of children that they're making a difference in lives. And we heard about some of that on Sunday. What a cool thing. Like we keep saying, who do you say Jesus is? What's the Holy Spirit prompting you? And how will you say yes to Jesus?
Yeah.
This is an example of, like, look at this amazing difference that through John, God is making, John and others who've joined in the world. So, I don't know what's done to you.
A couple of things. One is that it's not just John and Susan. I think they're very much the spearhead a lot of the stuff. But we've seen other videos that they've put up before. And the amount of people that are behind them and that work alongside them, and they're, even to get the solar power grid up and going, that was a huge undertaking. And there was so many people that got involved in that. And and just little things like that. And the fact that they have this ongoing farm, they have a family there that's now just running just the farm, right? And then they have all these moms who are taking care of people and teachers and
so cool.
So many healthcare workers just inside of all of that. And it seems like a lot. It seems like a huge amount of moving pieces, and that's only in Zambia. You have to do the same thing in Thailand. But the fact that it's worth it, and that a person's life is worth that much work and more. And we see that in John 3:16 as well, that we are worth it enough for God to send his only son. So that really stood out to me. And just that side of where John was saying, we took these boys off on this camping trip. They have moms with them all the time. We took these boys off on a camping trip and just dads, and just did like this rough and tumble discipleship and connection and wrestling matches and all of these things that these boys needed, and that it was very clear we need fathers. We need fathers to step up, and we need discipleship to happen from fathers to their children, or from men to younger men, or from from kids to uncles or whoever, right? Like there's so many different connection points that really are standing out to me, especially on that Father's Day. That was huge for me.
Yeah, so good. The value of every person and the value that we have, but also the value that we contribute, right? Like when we say yes to Jesus, he takes that little yes and he magnifies it. Like, I just love that. So
one more thing I noticed was that because I wasn't there, I watched it online, and I actually just want to say thank you, especially to our tech crew, because anytime a guest speaker or a missionary comes in, there's a lot of work, and they always show up with a last minute something or other. And the ability of our tech crew to actually just run with the punches on that, and actually did a really, really good job. So kudos to all of you who were a part of that and stepped up and really made it worthwhile, and made a great connection, especially to our online community as well too.
Yeah, really well done. Yeah.
If that wouldn't have been there, I wouldn't have felt like
Yeah.
I was being able to see or be a part of the service as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I mean, one little thing that touched my heart was you and your kids on stage, on the screen, but both your boys, but then also with Karis at the end. I had forgotten that was in there. I was ready to walk on stage, and then I was like, oh yeah, this. Anyways.
Karis can actually hold a tune really well. If she gets a song in her head, she actually sings it pretty well, and I think it's pretty good for 6. I'm excited for what that's going to grow into.
That's really cool. So looking forward, we have a couple, quite a bit of stuff coming up, but we'll tell you about a couple things now. This Sunday, can you tell us about what's happening this Sunday?
Yeah, so it's June 26th this Sunday, and we are making a special service. We're still going to hear from the book of Mark, and we're still going to continue on with that. But everything around that and surrounding it and is part of it is going to be a very special moment in the life of our church. So I'm actually challenging and I'm actually imploring our church to show up on Sunday. I realize there's a lot of people who can't make it. That's not who I'm talking to, but I think the opportunity to be a part of it is really good, because what we're going to be doing is almost like a commissioning service, but even more than that, we're actually doing a covenant service. And so this is us covenanting with Pastor Jeff, and Pastor Jeff covenanting with us as a congregation. And I keep saying us, even though you're a part of it as well too. You're a member as well.
I'm an us.
You're an us, right? But that it's actually important for us to take these moments to recognize the need for this. We should have done this a year and a half ago, but because of all of these different circumstances, we've kind of been waiting, and we just feel like this is now a really good time. And so we're doing a covenant service where we are kind of almost installing Pastor Jeff as our lead pastor to say we follow you as you follow God, and that also as a part of that we want to challenge you, because we are all part of God's family, and we all have the Word of God in our hand, and we need to be very Berean to you, and so back and forth. And so that takes commitment, and in some ways it's similar to the Old Testament kind of covenant, but not quite, because it's very different, because that's between God and his people. But this is a covenant between us with God as an overseer. And so very much like kind of a marriage ceremony, to say, I will commit to you, you commit to us, and let's move forward in trust, in care, in love, because there's going to be some difficult days ahead, and there's going to be some wonderful days ahead. And we only get through that by committing and trusting one another all the more. And so it's not just something that we're going to just throw Jeff in and see how he does, and if he works it all out, great, super. We're going to actually say, Jeff, we're gonna jump off this cliff with you, and we're gonna do it together. And so that's really what this Sunday is about. And so what that means is the service might look a little bit different. There's going to be a couple of guest speakers, but it's not going to be like an 18-hour service. It's going to be still kind of the same, but it's going to be purposeful in a lot of the things that we do. There's one or two songs that are like, this is our commitment. There is, it's going to be great. This is also the beginning of kind of our jump into summer as well. So that's why we thought, okay, now is a good time before we get kind of into July and everybody's headed out. So before everybody heads out, we are jumping kind of into our summer program for kids ministry. And so instead of kids being sent out and going upstairs, what they're going to do is they're going to get a kids summer pack. And so what it's going to have is a whole bunch of activities and other stuff that they can do and be a part of, so that we can also continue being in our service together. And so whether it's parents, being with kids, or even the aunts and uncles kind of around you, hey, let me color this with you or help you out, so that even parents can be a part of the service as well, and that we kind of grow together in that sense of family. But there's stuff for kids to do, and so it's going to be an exciting Sunday.
Yeah.
We'll hear from Bob Cron, our area minister for the BC North American Baptist Conference.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm excited for that. That'll be. You've told me about your covenant service years ago, and just how impactful that was to your ministry, and so I'm excited for that process.
And very much in the same way, it was like Lakeview trusts me, and we're kind of moving into this relationship together.
Yeah.
So it's very cool.
Very cool. The last thing we want to tell you is about the community service, not this Sunday, not the next, but the next, July 10. Several churches in West Kelowna have put together a service called for the West Side Days. That's the West Side Days weekend of celebration of West Kelowna, I guess. I've not been a part of one yet, but unfortunately, I'm away at a family reunion. But that event is happening. And we want to encourage you to go to that service. It's at 9:30 at Memorial Park. We will have something at the church, but it won't be our normal service. We will pre-record because we know that there's some of you that it will have a hard time getting to Memorial Park. So we wanted to have something at the church. So there will be something, but we encourage everybody that can go to be a part of that community service. We are part of this community. Each church is ministering to different people in the community, and we work together. We're God's hands and feet in the community. We're saying yes to Jesus for our community, so we really want you to be part of that service. So that's July 10, and we'll keep reminding you of that leading up, but just so you know that you can start planning for that service July 10. So, I think that's about all we want to tell you. We don't want to overload you this morning, so.
And one more thing, there's still Drama Camp sign up.
Yes.
And the reason I know that is because I'm wearing my Drama Camp shirt.
Oh, StarQuest.
So I'm trying to advertise. There's awesome things that are happening and awesome things that are planned for August 8th to 14th. And so sign up now on lakeviewheightsbaptist.com and encourage others. And it's a really good opportunity for I think it's grade 4 to grade 9. I need to know what those numbers are. But yeah, it's a really good, awesome opportunity.
Yeah, we're getting ready, starting to meet with leaders and build props and all that kind of stuff. So lots of good stuff. Hope you're having a great day, and we will see you on Sunday.